going to break the pace a little bit. I'm going to read a short story. It's very short. It's going to take about 4 minutes, maybe 4.5. It deals with the topic of body invasion. So you can think of it as science fiction, but I'd like to think it has some social commentary embedded in it as well. It's called A New Home. I have been bodiless for too long. It's time to obtain a body. I prowl the streets, dark night, dark universe. I am approaching the center of darkness hidden inside me. It is time to stop and start anew. I stop and start anew. I don't know where he is going, what brought him out at this hour, when the fog of loneliness fills the city, driving all but the homeless home. When the time is not now and never, not after and hardly before. Maybe this is the very reason I chose him, outside on a night like this. Can't he be doing anything else other than waiting for me to approach? I approach. He doesn't see me. He seems absorbed in his thoughts, the thoughts that must have driven him out of the house on a night like this. The moon's night off, a handful of dispersed light swallowing the street. He is walking slowly, steadily, like someone who knows exactly what is happening. I have to follow him. I follow him. He doesn't hear me. No one does. He just walks, stooped, his back hopeless, his hair shuffled by a non-existent wind. He passes through the park, I behind him. He walks down another empty street, I behind him. He turns into a smaller one. I know I have to do what I have to do. I do what I have to do. Now I know more about him, an additional burden that came with the body. I walk further in the same direction. I know where to go. His past has become my past. His future has become my future, up until the time when it separates from his expired frame and reverts to a floating state, ever in search of a dwelling. Until then. But then hasn't happened yet. The time is now. I walk. It feels strange to walk, something I haven't done for such a long time. And yet his muscles still remember how to do it. It makes me wonder just how much of me is me and how much is him. Maybe he is more than I, but I am in the center of he, invisible to the world, a masterpiece of mimicry. I approach his house. The lights are on. Apparently his wife is home. With his memory, I remember his wife. On the mental screen inside his brain, I see her moving images, which generously offer hints of expected behavior. The outside door is locked, a discovery that puzzles me only for a second, since his hand is already on its way to the pocket. And before I can analyze what he is doing, the key is in the keyhole, turning counterclockwise. Stop, I say to myself, I need to prepare. But his hand has already pushed the door, rendering my caution useless. Suddenly, the cloud of light from the living room envelops me, snatches me out of the street's twilight. It is unexpected, and it feels strange to finally see the room after seeing its stolen images in his memory. His memory is quite accurate, apart from several small details and a slight distortion, as though he had been always wearing glasses. I make a few more steps forward into the living room, now prepared to meet his wife and to be him for her. But who can tell whether or not it will work? She is sitting on the couch, watching late-night television. Her face is on the screen, saying something I fail to discern, busy as I am trying to play my part. But my hands, his hands, know what to do, and so does my mouth, his mouth. I approach and use them the way he usually did, his hands on her shoulders, light and tender, while his mouth says, "Hi dear, how was your day?" "All right," she responds without turning around, her stare glued to the screen. "And yours?" "Fine," he replies. There isn't much more to say. I know that they never spoke much, not after all those years they had been together. A couple of words here and there, now and then, about this and and that, words that are already on the tip of his tongue, words that are said without my slightest participation, words of emptiness in the language of gradual death, the kind of death he has chosen, the kind of death I can enjoy in his place. He is dead, and yet his brain is alive, completely at my disposal. I am all that is left of him. Ironically, I am he, and more. And on the other hand, he is me, and in that respect, he hasn't died. His every aspect, every feature has remained. Why are you staying with me after all these years? I ask, moving his lips. Not without effort, since this is the first time I speak myself. The question surprises me. Apparently it surprises her as well. She turns her head for a moment, making a noticeable effort to detach her eyes from the screen. Why are you asking? No reason. I guess I just felt like asking, I replied. Well, why do you stay with me? I don't know. I love you, she says. I know you. I feel comfortable with you. I always know what to expect. Everything is always the same. You are the same. Nothing changes. She turns back to the TV, unable to last more than a few seconds without her favorite anesthesia. I am safe. A long life lies ahead of me. I feel comfortable. I know what to expect. Everything will stay the same. I will stay the same. Nothing can possibly change.